Hey everybody, the Irish Demon here, back with another video, believe it or not. So as you may recall, yesterday I was doing a live stream. Well, technically my niece was doing a live stream. I was stood right there. Now the rules are that if you have a child on a live stream, they have to be accompanied. That makes perfect sense. And she was accompanied. Now my niece was here to have a little chat with you guys about a little charity project that we're doing together. And she was going to do my makeup, I was going to do hers, all that kind of stuff. I also had Jay and Killian with me and they were hanging out having a good time too. And then somebody took it upon themselves to report that stream and sadly got it shut down. Also, my ability to live stream. And my ability to monetize. Whatever about that. What it all boils down to is you upset a bunch of kids and you took the potential for them to earn money for a children's special needs charity away from them. Whoever it is, as my grandmother would say, may your crotch be infested with the fleas of 1,000 ponies and may your arms be too short to scratch them. Anyway, lads and lassies, we got Judge Simpson over here today giving it to a fella who thinks he knows the law, when clearly he doesn't. Now, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of talking during this video because I do have a lot of work to do here with YouTube to try to get all this stuff straightened out and hopefully be back to regular streaming again very soon. In the meantime, I'd really appreciate your support in this whole thing. It's a bit of a pain, but you know, we get through it. We've done it before. So what you can do is you can like this video and share it because as I said, it is going to be demonetized anyway. So if you share it out, it actually has a chance of getting out there to people. You can head on over to my Twitter, which is linked down below. And you can tweet at Team YouTube and let them know how you feel. But be nice about it. Be nice about it. That's how we roll. Other ways you can support this channel in the meantime is considering becoming a channel member or leaving a super thanks if that's an option down below. You can also grab some merch from the merch store. I have the new King Demon merch in there now, honoring the Lord King himself of Ireland, who I interviewed the other day. Hopefully have that video with you really, really soon. Or you could drop a tip in the PayPal tip jar just to give us a bit of a hand. Anyway, lads and lassies, I really hope you enjoyed this video and we'll catch you later.
Could have gone before that. Where? One West versus Sativa Cunningham and Joseph Jenkins.
Again, for the record, Your Honor, Cheryl Lockoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hi, Your Honor, Joseph Jenkins.
All right. And okay, where are we on this? This is set for trial.
Yes, Your Honor, to refresh the court's recollection on this particular matter, this is an action for non-payment of rent. We had a trial date set for July 26th. The landlord tried to enter on July 25th and was refused entry. We came to court, all of us ready to go forward, and because we were not permitted entry, the court adjourned this to today. The court ordered that the landlord enter on the 28th and the tenant provide a list of repairs. The landlord did enter, even though the power was out on the 28th, was able to fix the garbage disposal, came back on the 31st and the 1st to conduct the other repairs. A list was given on the 28th. It's landlord's position at this point, due to the refusal for entry, that any repairs that were so important are waived, and that the list that was provided on the 28th is relevant and has been completed. It's the landlord's position that has been completed, and we're seeking a judgment of possession for the full amount of rent, which is $5,229.68.
Yes, Your Honor. So since we moved in April, I moved in, there was a massive shower leak, which led to the discovery of mold.
Okay, but hold on a second. I just want to go back to when we were here on the 26th.
Sure. Yes.
You didn't permit them to enter the unit.
Right.
Right.
I requested to be moved at that time, which was ignored, but they had already been in the unit in June to fix said issues, and they weren't properly fixed. So they
Okay.
a lot of
Okay. You can obviously,
Okay.
but listen,
Yeah.
you didn't let them in,
Okay.
right?
For one of them.
So then I ordered you to let them in. You let them in. You were to give them a list of things that were to be done. So let's start there. Did those get completed?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we now fighting about?
The fact that the issue was there for 3.5 months since move-in, many issues. We tried to contact them via phone. no response. We tried to contact them via their portal, no response. They did come to attempt to fix the issues in June, but they weren't properly fixed according to the.
Why don't you move?
At this point, we'll do the year and then.
Well, I mean, if it's that, why don't you just move?
I would prefer just to stay at this point, but the responsiveness of Harbor One West and all that is horrifying. They don't respond to you at all. And they're given plenty of opportunities to fix the issues and they don't.
So what is now wrong with the unit?
As of currently now, nothing, but for 3.5 months, one of the was soaking wet.
Did you
And-
pay the rent?
No.
Okay, look,
we
here's
paid-
the thing. There's how much over?
Your Honor, the total balance is $5,229. The tenant hasn't paid.
Since when?
Passing-
Just,
Sorry.
excuse me, hasn't paid since when?
Since April 17th, his move-in costs were paid, and then there's not been a payment since then.
And give me that figure again, I'm sorry.
Sure. It's $5,229.68. I did put a copy of the ledger for your.
Yes. So, sir, how much do you think you owe?
When there's mold and there's a municipal,
I didn't ask what, I'm just saying, how much do you think you owe?
until right now, nothing. There's
Seriously,
been mold.
you think you
in-
get 100% abatement?
Okay.
That's not gonna happen.
No lessee or licensee shall be obligated to pay rent for any time periods that the lessor or licensee is in violation of this section, which is section 58-122.
58-122 of
Yes.
what?
The premises and all common areas
Of
are
what?
of the municipal code of the city, I guess. What I was given to by legal services to reference today.
Mhm.
Yes. To keep the premises in reasonable repair during the term of the lease or license and to comply
Did
with.
you read the rest of that? Did you read the rest of that section?
Yes, I did.
You read the whole 58, the whole section?
No, I just read.
Did you
section.
refer to the other sections that refers to regarding a certificate of occupancy?
No,
Didn't think you did.
they weren't in compliance for over a month. I mean, I guess I don't understand.
No, I can tell.
Okay.
You gave me one section of a statute or an ordinance.
Okay.
Give me the other sections.
I don't have the other sections, Your Honor.
I didn't think so. Why don't you have the other section?
I wasn't provided them. I was speaking to legal services about this matter over and over again, and they provided me the situations or the
You want to go call them now, see if you can get the other sections? Because you're just quoting half stuff to me.
Okay.
You want to?
No, Your Honor.
So we can get rid of that. The COC on this building was issued when?
West was the earliest.
I know.
It was,
That had to be in February.
I believe it was in February, Your Honor. It was
And-
long before the defendant took possession of the unit.
So do you understand why what you just read doesn't apply for you?
Yes, because they have certain, yes. I just don't understand why, if there's mold that's making me sick, that I've had to go to the doctor.
Do you have medical?
Yes.
Was the medical, well, okay. My goodness, look, you can't give me hearsay statements.
These are medical documents from the office visit for this mold issue, which I've emailed to.
They're hearsay.
Okay. Okay.
Your Honor, if a tenant has severe repair issues, which he claims, and mold issues, and then he refuses to let the landlord in, it just doesn't make any sense. And I maintain, he's indicated that has been fixed. The city was in violation that was dismissed when, I mean, I'm not sure what we're even arguing about. We would be more than happy to let this defendant vacate the premises and let him out of his lease.
If the previous, the escrow and the initial rent is given back in court.
Well, we would allow him to request because he moved in and hasn't paid us.
How many times are you not given access to the premises based upon the repairs?
I believe one.
Sir, that's part of the problem here. And you're going to be going out of the world backwards on this because you can't say I have repair issues. Can't say they won't respond and then deny them access.
But that was the most recent time. I did not deny them access when they came back in June to fix the issue from the complaint to the city. They came to, they obviously came, said they fixed the issues and they didn't fix the issues.
Your Honor, not to litigate this right now, but we were notified, we thought we fixed the issues. And then the next time when we went back, when we're told that we hadn't, even though the city didn't think there was an issue, we still went back pursuant to having trial the next day and were refused. So this has not been ignored.
It was for.
What do you want?
At this point, I would feel comfortable paying rent from the point now, or at least Monday, Tuesday.
You can't do that.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't.
you denied them access. A tenant can't say there's a problem and then deny them access.
Okay.
Hey,
And when we said, when we had the issue the first time, we did not deny access. They came, they made their repairs, but they did not actually repair the issues. 2 days later, the city inspector came back and found them in failure to comply. I have that report.
Which, just for the record, the landlord did not receive a copy of.
I don't think that's on me. That would be on the city.
you are simply amazing.
Okay.
Ms. Cunningham, anything you want to say?
Tons, but no, thank you.
No, go ahead. So, were there points in time where either of you could not reside in the unit?
Yes, myself.
Did you go someplace else? Pardon?
I made other arrangements, yeah.
Just you or
Just-
both of you? Oh,
Initially, when he moved in, I was to come shortly thereafter, and then when I was helping him, I actually did tell him, and we have a witness that I said it smells like mold in here, and the floor's wet in the second bedroom.
okay.
That-
Did you move in then, or what did you do?
I have issues when I go to his house. I can't go there. I have autoimmune issues.
I have also.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay, that's nice.
You know what, young man? I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, and I'm gonna tell you, you better check yourself. So I'm gonna give you a minute to go out into the hallway. Otherwise, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna be in contempt. I was talking to Ms. Cunningham. I wasn't addressing you. I don't know why you felt a necessity to interrupt her as she's addressing the court. So you might as well take yourself out of this courtroom right now. Right now. And when you feel like you can behave yourself, then you can come back in. Ms. Cunningham, you were saying.
No, I made other arrangements because I have autoimmune issues. The plan was, but because there were issues at the apartment, I couldn't move. Arrangements have been made.
So you stayed someplace else.
Yes, I plan on staying somewhere else as well.
Okay, are you currently staying someplace else? Are you paying rent elsewhere?
I am.
Okay. So you have another unit that you rented or what? I mean,
No, I'm staying with family.
gotcha. So Cunningham, let me ask you this.
Sure.
If you have autoimmune issues, I get it. And that there's a place where you can't stay. Why would you want to be obligated to this lease? I guess. I mean, I'm just talking for you. I'm not, I mean,
I support Mr. Jenkins in the sense that I have people that I can stay with. I have other opportunities. It wasn't hard for me to find somewhere else to go. I don't know Mr. Jenkins' situation, which is why initially we entered into living together because he needed that and it worked, but I can't. So I have options. I don't believe he does. So I guess it's one of those, it is what it is situations, for lack of a better term.
so I guess, Ms. Cunningham, do you want to be obligated on this lease?
I mean, ideally, no, but without sounding disrespectful, I would like my friend to live somewhere that's safe for him. And the fact that he doesn't have other options, I would hope that he could live there safely. I mean, I guess I would ask the court and everybody in the court, would you want your family living there?
Ma'am, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I'm just saying, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. The answer is I support him. I have options. He does not. If this is the way that it has to be, then this is the way it has to be. But no, I would not, which is why I didn't.
So if other options were presented to him, right? All right. I think I got it. Mr. Jenkins,
So
if I go through this whole trial, don't just find in plaintiff's favor, and you have to pay 5,000 plus in 10 days. Are you going to be able to do that?
I would not.
So, can in part we kind of really boil this down to what it is? Okay. Because the way that you're proceeding on this right now, you're going to lose. And I have to thank Ms. Cunningham because Ms. Cunningham gave me great insight to exactly what I think is going on here. Part of it is you really do have to fight this because if they get the full amount of their judgment, you can't pay it. And then you're going to be out. And then the options that she talks about, regardless of the merits of the case, there aren't other options for you. Right?
Yes.
That's why you can't, when they say, just leave, we'll let you out, you can't do that, right? I mean, you could, but then you need the funds to be able to do something else. Young man, can I just ask you a question? You've been before me, at least in person 3 times. This is your third time. Why don't you just say that?
I don't know, Your Honor. I just don't understand how when there are maintenance concerns like there were, we're given plenty of opportunity and it's just like.
Okay, but
I don't get it.
here's the thing. They're not all dismissed. Part of the issue is getting the maintenance issues corrected.
Right.
But the problem is you made one huge mistake when you didn't let them in. So you can't have maintenance issues. Landlord comes to fix them. Tenant says, not letting you in, and then says, oh, I'm going to complain about these maintenance issues. It can't work that way. Okay? And then the other part of it is that, you know, I know you've been on the Zoom when I'm going through these cases. Part of the issue becomes, from my perspective, is how to keep people out. It really isn't about trying to kick people out. But one of the things that I think you should learn from that is, or should have picked up from that is, just give me the honest story, right? Okay, you can have repair issues, but the reality is, Your Honor, I can't go anywhere else. I might be struggling for this reason, that reason, whatever the reason. But here's where I am. And then try to figure out a way to make that work. Right?
Yes.
Because otherwise, the problem is you go through this whole thing, and then you got 10 days to do something. And what? So if I told you you had to put another 2,000 into escrow, could you do that today?
Today, no.
Could you do it in 2 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Did you talk to them? I mean, so here's the thing. You're telling me a condition exists, right? But now what makes the landlord not really have to negotiate regarding that is you didn't let him in. Okay?
Yes.
And it's like with regard to most issues, the tenant doesn't report it. And the landlord, just by way of osmosis, is just supposed to know. It doesn't work that way.
I mean,
I'm not saying that's just the case. And what I'm giving you examples of is, along with those repair issues, the tenants have obligations too. They have to notify the landlord. They have to make sure to provide access. They have to make sure to do all of those things, right?
and they weren't done until 2 weeks ago. I mean, I did all that. So that's where I'm just a little confused. Yes.
Right. The section they give you, at some point, that unit passed a direct health and safety inspection.
Right.
All right. Now, if something happened between then and then, okay, then it's got to be dealt with.
Right.
But the landlord has to know.
Right.
And then you have to provide access. And that's your big problem with this case. Even if even if, let's say, I believe everything that you tell me, right? You almost negate your own case. So let's think about the big picture. You want to stay, right?
For the remainder of the lease, yes.
All right. Right now, if I had to make a finding, we'd probably get everything. Okay? So if we operate just for the moment on that assumption, okay? How do you propose getting to your goal of being able to stay?
By providing the rest of the rent if it was to go in their favor.
Okay, so maybe I should have inartfully asked the question. Okay. You want to stay the rest of the lease. Okay. You're about 3,000 some change behind, right?
Yes, sir.
How do you propose making that up so that you can accomplish your goal of staying the rest of the lease?
Next pay period, I can put at least another $1,500 in. I'm not quite sure where the over 5,000 is coming from, since we did pay the,
Hold on.
the
Did you have a ledger?
I do, Your Honor. I'll provide it.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm sorry, so we paid, like post dated rent for April. So if that until May 1st would be May, June, and July would have been. No, legal fees, got it. It's the legal fees and late fees that are the issues.
Yeah.
Because the rent is the 1050. And I see that now.
Okay. So how would you get yourself out?
I guess.
Let me ask you this question. If I give them a judgment for that full amount and tell you got to do something in 10 days, what do you do?
I wouldn't be able to do that, Your Honor.
Then what would happen?
I would have to be evicted.
And then where would you go?
I have to find other options, I guess.
And they're not there right now, right?
Not currently. I mean, I would have to obviously start looking around, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So of this 3,000, how do you propose? How would you make that up? I mean, how do you see making this work for you to get to where you want to be, which is to remain there the rest of your lives?
I mean, I get paid every 2 weeks. I can every 2 weeks put money towards the rent, obviously. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How did you find yourself in this position?
By withholding the rent and spending it while these issues were there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your honesty, because I knew that's what happened.
Yep.
Okay. So you know something, Mr. Jenkins? I've been doing this for a long time. Right? And I don't think you're a bad person. I know. I think you were, every time you'd walk in, you were angry. You weren't sure how to get yourself out of this. And so you just kind of puffed up. and it wasn't going to get you anywhere. Isn't this a much better conversation to have?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, so sometimes in life we just do stupid things. Well, I don't say stupid things, but we just do ill-advised things. Like supposed to be withholding our rent, and then we spend it on something else that happens, and the next thing you know, D-Day comes, I ain't got it. Right?
Yes, sir.
Happens. How old are you?
Well, am I?
Yeah.
36.
Okay. You got a lot more time to make a lot of stupid decisions, so don't worry about it. Okay? They're just gonna happen. Okay. Is there any room with some of the late fees that you could maybe do? I realize that you don't have to, but he wants to stay. I think if nothing else out of this, he's learned something. And he can figure out a way to get this paid and caught up. Right now, in my estimation, is an opportune time to try to arrange to do that because we're at the beginning of the month and we don't have September clicking. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Go out, talk to the landlord, see what they're willing to do for you, and give them a proposal as to how you're going to get this paid off and caught up. Okay? All right. Why don't you go?
Clarify what is in escrow right now.
I have 1050 twice.
Okay.
Is that right? Is that what you?
21.
Yeah, about 21. Is that what you have? You didn't make a payment in August, so did you?
No.
I've got two payments. One on. You're not finding any? No, I got.
777.
Probably why. They should have two payments.
2100.
Yes, two payments at 1050. That's what we get. All right. McMahon, go out and talk with them. All right. See what you can work out. Remember your end goal.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. See the other one. Blue Heron Point versus Ketzner.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Christopher Bork, hearing on behalf of the plaintiff, approaching the podium.
All right. Your name?
Elisa.
Okay. Where are we on yours? I heard that it was a consent, and then it wasn't a consent, and then I don't know what happened.
Your Honor, we did reach a resolution. My estimation, I believe the defendant may have a few other questions and put on the record.
Okay.
But my understanding is we have to speak just now, and I would defer to her to clarify.
Go ahead.
Okay, so he sent me a form yesterday, and he told me he talked to the property manager. The balance that the resident ledger it has a balance of $6,538.14.
Okay.
But on the portal, it states $6,639.64. So I'm just trying to get a clarification because that's not on the form that he sent to me yesterday.
So the numbers the plaintiff would stand by would be the amounts in the ledger, which I provided to Ms. Ketzner, 6538 and 14 cents.
Which is the lower figure, so we're all clear, right?
I still don't understand that because on the portal it's high.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to understand.
Why is it higher on the portal?
Yeah.
Ms. Ketzner, if I could explain that about portals, every apartment complex has these portals. some start putting fees in that probably shouldn't be there on the portal. Some have service,
Because
fees, some have whatever. So I don't know that I could, without looking at the portal, say what it is. I don't know that I can give an answer to your question. It's really what I'm saying.
Just by the agreement that he sent me, I just want to make sure that I have zero balance. The only thing that should be on there is my EBS bill, which is the pest control, the service fees, sewer, trash, and water, which came up to $96.56.
Okay, so the reality of what should happen, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that if this amount is paid, is this going to be paid all at once or is it paid over time?
It'll actually be paid solely through court escrow, and she will have a clear balance.
So you're just taking the escrow and she's zero.
She's zero. My client is waiving $1,200 of the 6538. That was in the terms of the condition.
Okay, so that even makes it easier. Ms. Ketchner, what's your worry? Your worry is that all of a sudden something's going to click on, or you're going to pay this money, but that balance isn't going to be wiped out, right?
I think the balance should be with the EBS bill, the 9656. I don't have a copy of the current lease agreement that the property manager had. Every time I go on the portal, it won't open up. And I have 3 different lease agreements that she sent.
Hold on. Here's what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is, at the end, once this is paid out, by the end of August, your account should be reading zero until September clicks in.
Right.
That's really the issue.
Right.
Right? So if I get this paid out as soon as possible, right? And I can set another hearing via Zoom toward the end of the month. I don't mind doing that for you guys. So that when, just to check one thing, that by say the 25th, I probably set it on. By the 25th, because this check would go out, your account on the portal should read zero.
Right.
Would that work for you?
That's fine.
Okay. You wanted me to do some math, didn't you?
No.
Okay, no, you were trying to force me to do some math, and did you see what she did? She started with all those figures, wanted me to subtract all that. I'm looking at these numbers. It's the end of a long day. And yeah, you did that on purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the escrow to the plaintiff. All right. And we'll try to get that sent out first thing Monday. We could just well, you're not going to be here, so we'll try to. We're going to release the escrow to plaintiffs. Defendant's account should read zero on portal by adjourn day. Then I'm going to adjourn this out to August 25th, 2023, 2 p.m. That will be via Zoom. All right. How's that sound?
Just have one.
She's gonna do something else. She's about to do something else. Yes.
I have 3 different leases for March, January, and May. And I agreed and signed my lease for February. They sent out a letter later on after I signed my lease that they not let nobody leave in January or February. So I'm assuming that's maybe why she sent me another lease for March. But I'm not trying to stay till May. And I just don't want the stipulations for trying to break my lease early because I did sign a lease for March. Actually, January.
Your Honor, these issues are not part of the consent. And in fact, it has been unclear even to me if which lease is valid, if any. Your Honor, the leases, there have been 3 leases that were executed by Ms. Kessner, but it appears not by management in a short window of time. So they were not eventually signed by both parties. They were not valid.
I got emails where they were all cleared each time.
I will indicate though, Your Honor, we reached a consent on a matter that
Yeah, I don't know, Ms. Ketchum, that I could address anything regarding the leases because I don't have all of them in front of me, number one. I would also suppose that you and the landlord may have different agreements as to what lease is there, and Mr. Borgen's indicating his client hasn't signed any, so I'm not even sure that it would be a valid lease.
Yeah, Pamela Green, I have an email stating right here that it was approved and signed.
Okay, all right. But the reality is that's as to something in the future, right?
No, that was for my lease to end in January.
Okay, but the ending in the lease is not something that's before me on this.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so we'll see you guys on August 25th, 2 p.m. via Zoom, and we'll release the escrow to the plaintiff. Your account should read zero by that time. The check comes in. Okay? You're welcome. Anything else you want to yell at me about, Ms. Kessler?
I'm not yelling.
Yo, no, you're better than the last time. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Thank you for making it. Take care. All right, so that's my personal. That's awesome. All right. Recall the case of Harbor One West versus Cunningham and Jenkins.
And for the record, Your Honor, Cheryl Wolkoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Just figured, Your Honor.
Steve Cunningham.
Thank you. All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, the plaintiff is willing, there are 4 late fees that are assessed to the account. 1 is being assessed today, but it would be for May, June, July, and August. They're $75 a piece. The landlord is willing to waive 2 of those, so to take $150 off of the balance. I believe the defendant agreed to that. The issue is I inquired as to when these payments could be made. It doesn't sound like they can be completed within August. We are asking to have a judgment entered, and we are willing to work with this defendant, but not beyond August.
All right. Where are you, young man?
So I explained that by at least the end of the month that I could pay another $2,000.
Okay, so hold on a second. If you paid another, I'm just gonna operate because the way my brain is right now, we're at about a $5,000 figure. Is basically where we're at, right? You got about 2,000 or 2,100 in escrow, and somehow or another we need to come up with another 3. Okay, just ballparking stuff. So you can pay 2,000 by when?
The end of the month.
What day?
By the 31st.
And then your rent clicks in, and your monthly rent is $10.50. And
The
then
rest of that balance I could have by the end of September,
by the end of September,
or mid-September probably. So I get paid twice a month.
okay, so just understand this. From the landlord's perspective, and I don't mean to speak for this landlord, I'm just going to say, you're behind in your rent. And it's one thing when I'm clicking over 1 month into the next month, but I can't wait to the end of September because here's going to be my problem. My problem is if I wait to the end of September to get really what effectively would be August and September, then I got October, right?
That makes sense. Yep.
Okay, so you think by September 15th?
Yes.
All right, so here's what I'm going to propose, folks. And I know Ms. Luckoff is already looking at me like, no. So I'm going to talk to Amy too. I know, I see you there. All right. What I'm gonna suggest is this, to let it, to not, you just have to pay the late fees. Okay? But give that part of the penalty for that, or whatever, however you want to look at it, is to give him to September 15th to clear it. So that if he doesn't pay the 2,000 by the end of August, a judgment could enter and a writ could issue. Then you give him that, see if I keep interrupting, you just sound, they won't be yelling at me. And then give it to the middle of September to get that caught up. And then, yes, it's like I'm not gonna avoid it.
Your Honor, I appreciate the defendant's candor, but we have gone around and around. We came here last week. For no reason, et cetera. There's been no rent paid. Again, this is just looking purely as a matter of equity. Nothing's been paid. Keep living there. You're supposed to put your money in escrow. We understand you didn't, but the landlord should be penalized. We're talking about allowing him into September. You're including September rent then in that total, that we would add that in, it would all be paid by the 13th?
By the 15th of September, I think that's that Friday.
So 2,000 by the end of August.
Right.
Add September rent, utility, see there's DTE, there are other.
Everything would have to be clear by September 15th. So, because I think everything's been added now onto his account for August, correct?
Today or tomorrow morning.
I don't
Okay.
see the utility on here either. I don't see the DTE. So that doesn't post like until later in the month. Can you give me a second to talk to my client, Your Honor?
Sure. Young man, while they're talking, sometimes what you gotta do is kind of bite the bullet, kind of get yourself safe. You know what I mean? And not we can think that we can charge like a bull in a china shop. We're gonna get our way, but it's not.
Understood.
Doesn't get you anywhere. So I mean, I just you're lucky to have a friend like Miss Cunningham, because just listening to her explain to me where you were. What sign are you?
Aries.
You're an Aries? See, that's why I recognize that. Are you a March Aries? April what?
13th.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. See, it was gonna be over for the two of us, because I'm an Aries. I'm a very, so we would have just been butting heads, just. Why are you shaking your head, Miss Cunningham? Yeah.
I seem to be surrounded by Aries.
Yeah, that can be a dangerous place to be, right?
You're a Scorpio? Yes.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I hesitated asking you, and then I said, let me just find out. And the moment you said, I said, oh my God, that's why. Yes. Mr. Luckoff, you have good news for me.
I have a question.
See, go ahead. What's the question?
I just want to understand the pay periods and see, the landlord would like payment by the end of August. We're trying to work with the tenant and the court. But based on what he was saying, the pay periods, I just want to understand, can a payment be made, the first week in September, and then can we stagger this? So when are you, what are the dates? Is it mid-month and then the end of the month?
It is every other Friday. So the next pay period would be the 18th. I'm sorry, no, the 11th and then the 25th.
Say again. Oh, Your next pays are the 11th and the 25th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So can we establish a certain amount, 11, just to keep this somewhat tight?
Got it. Okay. I'm assuming that it would be the 1050. Plus, he's going to have additional charges. But I'm assuming it's going to be the 1050 plus whatever else on that day, like his utilities and whatever those are. I don't know what those costs are. And then on the 25th, it would be 1050. I guess making sure that the 1050 and the utilities are paid. I'd like that done at the first payment on the 11th.
Okay.
So the utilities, just so we're clear, every month is $53 for water, trash, and pest. The DTE is supposed to be in the tenant's name. So I think there may be an issue here because it's on the ledger, and the landlord's.
He is in my name
Is it? Okay.
When did you put it in your name?
during move-in, so I don't really understand what the issue is. I have the account on my phone.
So we're gonna have to look into that because, it's reflecting on our ledger here.
So
Can you pull up, payments made and all of that so we can look at it? We need to know. I mean, potentially something could come off this ledger if he's been paying it.
if he's paying DTE, but it's, yeah. That'd be horrible. DTE is getting paid twice because I was without power.
Seriously. Did you lose power the last time?
Oh, yeah. Yes. And it's not good when you're out where I am because you lose water and everything.
Oh, no. The last storm, I actually lost power after the storm because they turned mine off to restore someone else's. So I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wait, we're 2 days in and I don't know." Yeah.
And you know, that actually happened to me after the last storm. Or right, because everything was over and then all of a sudden I was out of power. And I don't know why that happened. The worst thing is I have a generator, so I'm good with that, but when Wi-Fi goes down, I'm lost. I can do nothing. So this storm was the first time Wi-Fi went down and my 5G because something must have happened to a tower. So I could get nothing.
Oh, sure.
I don't even like my sister that much, and I had to go over there.
Total amount due 116.56 is due by August 18th.
Go back to like billing statement. Let's just go through your history. I mean, this works to your benefit if we can.
Right.
Amy, do you want to come up here and look at this?
There should be a date on the ledger, like some corporate, down there.
Okay, so there's DTE from 4/26 to 5/23 on here.
Meaning that the service may not have been.
Okay,
I don't
and
know.
then 5/24 to 6/26, and then I don't see it after. So can you show us your first?
I haven't, the first payment hasn't been made yet,
The first payment.
so I don't know if,
Did you turn on utilities and certificates when you first moved in?
my understanding was I did. I got a confirmation.
So do you have proof of payment? That's what I'm asking.
No, I haven't had to make a payment yet.
All the way from April, you have to make a payment.
Okay, that's why. So what was happening, for whatever the reason, it's being charged to the landlord, so it goes in there and you need to pay it.
Okay.
So that payment's due the 18th
Yes, yeah.
of, I overheard, of August. So it's not gonna pop onto that account, hopefully. If it does, then somebody's gotta figure something out. Okay. Well, yeah, because they would, if he doesn't pay it, they won't do a shut off where it's gonna go over there but prior to their shut off, they would click it back over, but just get it paid. Okay, so we would want to be paying on the 11th and the 25th.
Do I pay that into escrow?
Hold on one moment. So what do you, Ms. Luckoff, what are you looking to see from him on each of those dates? Understanding we're gonna include September.
When we add September, so we're not backing out the late fee. So the total balance before September rent is $5,229.68.
Okay, got it.
Then we're gonna add $1050 plus 53 for the utilities, etc. Likely will hopefully come up with the number, but I'm coming up with 6332.68. 29.68 plus 1050 plus 53.
I have 6332.68.
That's what I got.
Is that what you got, or did you mess it up? Like he did his case number? No. So yes, so we're really looking, well, if it's the 25th, then for September, your payment is actually the 8th, right? September, your payday is,
My payday, sorry. Thought you said payday. Yes.
so we're gonna go, it would be the 11th, 25th, 8th. But understand the 6332, I have 2100 already. So then what we're really looking at is it just froze. So what we're really looking at is 4232.68. So let me ask you this. On the 11th, how much can you pay?
You'd say 1,000?
Okay, we're gonna get short. Okay, but I realize there are probably other bills you got.
Right.
All right. Then on the 25th, how much can you pay?
At least another 1,000? I mean, I do have other bills. Yeah.
No, I know, but I can see we're gonna run into a problem. Then the 8th,
I mean, I would like to be completely caught up by the end of September with all of it.
okay, remember what I said though?
Yes.
That can't happen.
So I guess I'm not gonna be able to get caught up. So I don't know.
I know this has been addressed, but I'm going to throw it out in a slightly different fashion in hopes of resolution. Release escrow to the defendant to allow him some moving costs. We're not going to release our claim for rent, but just
call it.
remove and
That's fine.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Yes.
all right. So release it to the defendant. Let him have his moving costs. And then what day will you be out?
By the end of the month,
No, I'm going to ask for 10 days rather.
10 days.
All right. So I will grant judgment to the plaintiff. Judgment for possession to the plaintiff. Total redemption amount is in the amount of $5,229.68 with a written 10 days. Release escrow to defendant. All right, since sir, since you're operating on a 10-day time frame, how would you suggest that you that come up to the court and try to get his escrow? Because they're gonna mail it, and I just don't.
Yeah, I can send an email and we can have them mark
file.
That he's gonna come.
in and pick it up.
Okay.
Call him before you, let's make sure I had enough vehicle.
Okay, perfect, yep.
Okay. All right, we'll do that. I've signed the judgment. And thanks, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Almost worked. All right, Mr. Jenkins, take care of yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
Get the phone number. 14A stands adjourned.
So I think this kind of proves that you need a lawyer sometimes. And as I tried to explain to somebody the other day, simply reading the law does not mean that you understand it. There's a whole lot more to it, including the other parts of that same law and case law, and knowing how to present the arguments based on the law. But the judge was pretty swift in dealing with this guy, and I want you to let me know what you think down below. Again, guys, just to remind you, channel's in a bit of trouble right now, so we need the demon army. Make sure and smash that like button, share this video out, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte.